What's going on, guys? Team Garage here. We got Roger Mack. And we're back. We're back from Minnesota's first official Planetary Qualifier. We're going to talk about it today. Go over all the topics, all the drama, get some hot takes in, figure out what everyone's feeling, go over it. So if you like the video, feel free to subscribe and give it a like. And if you have any questions, throw them down in the comments. We try to answer as many as we can. Other than that, let's go ahead and get into it. So Minnesota's first Planetary Qualifier for Star Wars Unlimited was this past weekend. It was so fun. So it was at the Forge in Chaska, Minnesota. So I want to shout out the Forge a little bit. That the event was super fun. I thought it was super well run. You know, judges were getting called and it sounded like they were prompt to every call, and you know, we're getting over there, we had to clear the lanes, like, you know, they made sure that the judges had room to move. So
there's like certain parts of the area that you had to like not be in. But like, I also liked how good at the game like the judges were. Like, they like just knew the game so well, and I'm kind of impressed with how like on it they would be if they were like around you. They'd be like this, that, you know. They'd be like,
they didn't. Yeah, they didn't just like hire 4 random people from the store's, you know, workforce and then said, hey, you're going to judge this game. It's like, hey, these people actually played the game at least and have pretty intense knowledge. You know, the beginning of each round, it was super clear. What I liked about that over the announcement system, they're like, this round is starting at this time. A time will be called at this time. You know, you may begin, so on and so forth. If there are any other announcements, they were talking about them. So that was super cool. Overall, I think it was a super well-run event for Star Wars, you know, at least in our areas. Biggest tournament so far.
Really crowded.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It didn't feel that way at all.
Yeah, it did feel nice. It did feel nice to, you know, they're not the biggest store that they could have had it at, but it did work out well enough to where it wasn't like, oh my gosh, there's nowhere to move, you know, and you were able to go outside, of course. It was a beautiful day out, which was great.
That helped a lot too.
Yeah, that helped a lot. It feels like
out.
Be
outside.
Right. Yeah, they gave us pizza too and a lunch break. Overall, let's shout out again to the Forge for hosting it. They did a great job, I think. Would definitely go back. We've been there for other events, you know, pre-releases and stuff like that.
Huge. And like the 1K. I thought it was going to be, so like the 1K, I was like, this is kind of crowded. But then like this one, it was like almost double the amount of the 1K, I think. And like, it felt the same. I was like, how'd they do this? I don't know. It's amazing.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. They, of course, had to shut their store down for the day, you know, so they were just full Star Wars mode that day, and everyone was great. So shout out to them. Let's talk about that a little bit. There's a little bit of drama going on in the world of the PQ qualifiers and the stores themselves. So, there a lot of the other PQs, from what we've seen, were giving out like crazy prize support for at least the top cut. I think the winner of Chicago got like $250 as like an Amazon gift card or just like a Visa gift card. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but I do know that like a bunch of the other PQs gave out showcases for like first, second, third, fourth, boxes for like first through eighth and other stuff.
Like set 3 boxes. I was like, I would like to be some set 3 boxes.
Now
other place though. I don't think it was Chicago.
Yeah, I don't think it was Chicago. There was other ones. So actually, the Forge made a post in the big Star Wars Unlimited Facebook group talking about, it sounds like they're getting some flack and maybe some like negative reviews or emails or calls in relation to the event. But I do know what a lot of people are talking about is right when we're having our lunch break, everyone who entered the tournament got 1 pack of Spark of Rebellion and 1 pack of Shadows of the Galaxy. And it was given out like when you were getting your pizza, but it wasn't very clear that that was happening. So I know when we were all outside eating, a guy had come out and he was like, did you guys get your pack? Everyone outside was like, no. There was probably like 20 people outside. He's like, go inside and go get your packs. We all went and got our packs. But it sounds like some people did not even get those packs. I do know that the person who got second place actually posted in that thread in Facebook, and he did not get his 2 packs. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to compare that stuff because obviously some stores have more money than others, right? And
because they're pretty far, even they're not even like super close to the city.
Yeah, and well, I just think Minnesota is like not a big TCG place. You know what I mean? Like you think of like TCG like centers of, it's like you don't think of Minnesota.
Immediately Chicago instead.
Yeah, so like a Chicago store is probably way bigger than any Minnesota store. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, again, I think the tournament was run super well. I appreciated everything and the way that they handled it. You know, again, if I'm going, oh, I wish we got more prize support. Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't say that, right? But I wouldn't say that they did anything poorly. And it does sound like they are making some amends as far as the prize support to the top 4 at least. So they are taking those steps as well. But yeah, overall, I wouldn't trash the event or anything like that. I mean, I can get where when you compare it to all these other places, how that can be frustrating. But again, you can't really do that. You know what I mean? Like you can't compare one store to another and go, this should be the, you know, what everyone does is what this one store does.
Yeah, that has so much more funds than all the other ones combined.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah.
I mean, like, how would you be able to compare like a tournament at like Comic-Con or something? It's like, it's just like a whole nother thing. It's like,
right,
you can't, like
you can't
replicate that at a store. I don't know.
Yeah, you can't compare. It's just not comparable. So yeah, overall, we're in support of the Forge. They did great.
Yeah,
it was a super fun day. It felt super great to get out with the boys and just have a full day of card games. Yeah, everyone was there.
I was like, no way, like everybody's here. Like, we didn't even get any pictures. Our channel, we should have gotten it's like,
the whole there's 4 of us in total out of the team that competed, and 2 of them showed up later for to drop off some emergency Gatorade and some fun, some energy for us, and then just stayed for the rest of the night. It was just, again, you know, from our first kind of regional event that we've done in a long time since Yu-Gi-Oh years. It was super fun just to get out and have a full day of card games, and you know, after each round we'd all go outside and just
talk about what happened.
Just talk about
like as long as we could until the next match.
Yeah. It was super. That just felt great to have that, like, to look forward to again. To like, okay, once, you know, every 2 months or 3 months we're gonna have the regionals again, which was super fun to have that experience again. So that was great. Sunday, it felt a little bad that it was on a Sunday, but actually we didn't leave till like, it was pretty early, like 9 o'clock, I think, or something like that. Maybe even 8:30.
And we
it might have been
tournament afterwards.
We like did our own thing.
Got food and then talked some more, and then like I'm like, how is it still like so early? Like I thought, I was like, it felt like it was like midnight or 10 o'clock, and it wasn't.
Right. Yeah, and we saw, you know, everyone from all of our locals too. That was great to kind of have everyone was there. It seemed like everyone that we know, the whole community. Yeah. So that was great. Shout out to all the boys, Tyler and Sam and Ryan and Cody and Joey and Rich. Fucking Rich.
King Richard.
The people's champ.
The people's champion was like,
So that was
he just missed the Florida again. He like missed the Florida thing.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a great day. It was a great day to pick up cardboard and place it down on the table. So that's what we did for 12 hours. All right, so let's get into our records. Who was playing what and what happened. So
I want to do a quick shout out to Oziak and Gshiffe for making a custom outro for the channel. You can contact them and find them on the SoundCloud and stuff in the description. They're really awesome, and they were able to just turn out a custom thing for us, and it's really cool. So thank you, Gshiffe and Oziak.
Yeah, I don't know. You want to take this away since
I will give a super scoop on what I'm up to. Like, this is so far in advance, like, to what the series.
Oh yeah, do we want to just like leave it like
it starts with an S? It could be anything.
Yeah.
It could be anything.
Maybe just throw out your record and then that can be saved for your video.
I didn't go positive. I went 3-4. And somehow I did better than one of our other team members. I was like giving him so much shit. Like after the tournament,
a grudge match after that.
Lost every single game. Yeah, so I played a bunch of I played 2 Bobas. I played a Bosk. I played another Bosk. I played a Sabine and I played a Cassian, which I was not expecting at all. It was a mono Cassian, and it wasn't Tarkentown, and it just couldn't keep up. So
couldn't keep up with.
I love aggro mirrors. I love them. I only lost one aggro mirror.
You're the first ones to sit up from your table, so that's the best feeling about that.
That's a huge energy conversion thing.
Yeah.
It's
you're like, my game's done in 15 minutes. I still got 40 minutes left.
Yeah. It's I can just chill and hang out with people and do my parts in between my games because I was able to record, which was really cool. And I really like that. Like in other TCGs, like Yu-Gi-Oh, you can't do that.
Yu-Gi-Oh, that's trash.
Oh yeah, so it's I like how it's still in its infancy. So it's kind of like pirate season. You can kind of get away with weird stuff still.
I think they said that they were always going to allow that. It was in the rules that super early on in the game, before it released, I think they said,
because it's that was huge.
They were never gonna gatekeep content creators from recording stuff like that.
Okay. Well,
yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, that's great. That's great for the game.
So it's great for the game. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we'll go into my list and what I was playing. We'll throw it up on the screen somewhere. Not really going to get into it much. It's typical Sabine ECL. Surprise, surprise. So I went 4-3 on the day. I did go positive, which feels pretty good. However, I was cursed with 4 Bobas in my Swiss pairings. We'll put those up on the screen while we're talking about them. Yeah, over half. I beat half of them.
The average.
Which is for standard. So I was the statistic. I hit the normal statistic, but I faced 4 Bobas. I faced 2 Bosks, and then I faced 1 Iden. And those are my Swiss pairings.
I played Iden. No, I played Krennic on stream, by the way. My first game, and I could have.
I thought it was Iden, or was it Krennic?
Because he was healing.
It was Krennic.
No, it was Iden.
Iden. Yeah, Iden heals too. So my Swiss pairings, I started the day against a Boba Green 30 HP, and I was like, all right, well, this is just the definition of struggle. But my first matchup of the day is my hardest one. I actually 2-0'd that matchup, so I won that 2-0.
Yeah, you just
I felt,
know what to do.
Yeah, I felt super good. Shout out to KTOD and members of the Discord. I was like, okay, like the night before studying the Boba matchup, and like having red 3 is so important because when you ECL Poe, it's a 7 attack instead of 6, so you don't have to pitch to deal the 2 damage to Boba. And that's like what I did. I just like on the Sabine flip turn, I like played like an R2 and a red 3 or something, and got in position to take Boba out. In both games for round 1, he flipped Boba and I killed it with the next action. The first game was a Rebel Assault that I used to take him out, and then the second game was ECL Poe. So that felt super good, starting the day off like that against my toughest matchup. Round 2, I faced Iden Green, 30 HP, so just going up against like some tough stuff. And that was a 2-0 as well. I took that one 2-0. He drew like atrocious game 2. His opening hand was like 2 Vigilance, a Snoke, an Avenger, a Confiscate, and like no playable cards, like unbelievably bad. And then his turn 2.
Mulligan too.
That was after a mulligan too.
Ooh.
Yeah, he drew his cards. We do take them. He drew his cards, and he was super cool. He drew his cards, and he was just like, "Yeah, you got this, bro. We'll play it out." But like, you got this.
Take it a shot.
Yeah, I just had like 3 turns of unanswered damage, and it was just like, brutal. Yeah.
I wish I had games like that, dude.
Yeah. So round 3 was against Boba Yellow. So it was the second Boba I faced. I lost that one 1-2, but both the games, all of them were like 1 action away from victory. Like, okay, like one person had 1 more action. And I did kind of feel like, it was the typical Boba stuff. Just like, I can't keep up with the flip turn. Like,
yeah, by the way, we have like 3 or 4 more 3 extra resources against
it was rough. But yeah, it was good though. Like I said, they came down to 1 or 2 actions all the games, so it was close. It was definitely like competitive. Like, okay, if you draw this card, you win. If I draw this card, I win. Like, my 4th round was against a Bosk Blue, and I lost that matchup 1-2. Game 1, he resolved 3 top targets and a Vigilance, which is 20 health. That he actually, it's a little bit more than that, because a couple of the top targets were 6 HP. So that was just I killed him like 3 times, but he kept healing. Like,
did you win still?
No, it was just like the amount of damage that I did to his base was equal to like him dying 3 times.
7 health, and I was like, I don't. And then still,
and then game 2 against the first Bosk Blue, I got that one. Like, sideboard came in clutch there with Confiscates. That was just like, I felt like I could play normal Sabine. And then game 3 was insanely close, like so close. We got into top deck mode. He was like 3 damage away from his base, and I literally needed to draw for a cause I believe in. And there's probably like 20 cards left in our decks, and I could not draw into anything. He had a Crate Dragon on the field, and I picked up my deck to look, and second from the bottom card of my deck were all 3 of my 4 cause I believe in. I was like, I'd never seen it. So I was like, well, that's just the way the cards are shuffled, and had to deal with that. But shout out to Jake. He's a player I've played a couple times in local series. Super cool guy. So that was it was really close. It was super fun. A super fun. I remember seeing him
like with the Crate Dragon out. We're like, I don't think he's gonna get this.
It was close.
But then we like saw you get up and you're like smiling and stuff. We're like, maybe he got it somehow. And like, no.
Yeah. We sat down across from each other, and Jake's just like, just send me home. Like, I don't want to play anymore today. That was before we even picked up our cards.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know. You might have this. It's a tough matchup. So that was round 4. Round 5 was against Bobby Yellow again. So my second Bobby Yellow of the day. And I was able to take that one 2-1. So same thing, kind of just typical back and forth with Sabine and Boba Aggro, and I just had the cards to, come out on top there. Round 6 was against a Bossk Blue, another one. And
Weird.
That one I was able to take 2-1. So that one, we actually had a random deck check at the beginning of our match. Oh. We were about to cut each other's decks, and they come up and like, hey, we're doing a random deck check, which is fine. They gave us an extension on the round by 18 minutes, which was nice. I didn't need it because I'm just playing aggro. I either lose or win.
Yeah.
It was another kind of a close one. And that was actually a comeback. He took game 1, and then I took the next 2 games. So that was so it was close.
On the back foot.
Yeah, I was on the back foot. I was like, I just gotta have the stuff. And again, sideboard came in crazy against Bossk, like the Bright Hope and Confiscates to get rid of the bounties was super useful. And then my final matchup of the day was Boba Green, 30 HP. And I lost that one 1-2. And that one, literally, all the games. So he had initiative game 1, and he ended the game with a fire spray. And then game 2, I had initiative, and I ended the game because I had a Bright Hope to stop the fire spray. And then game 3, he had initiative, and he won because he had a fire spray, and I did not have a Bright Hope. And it's just like, yeah, it was just like, oh man, it was brutal to end the day like that with the toughest matchup and just have it be, well, they drew their broken Boba cards, and I did not draw my not even broken card. But yeah, so that was brutal. I mean, I really wanted to go 5-2. That would have been pretty exciting for me, but 5-2s didn't even make it into the top cut. So looking back after that, I was like, okay, well, I'm not super disappointed that I didn't win that game, but it was still exhausting to have to deal with that at the last match of the day when it was super sweaty when I was thinking a 5-2 could make it into the top cut. Okay. So I was just oh man, it would have made me top 16. I would have made top 16 if I went to 5-2, but so that was a tough way to end the day, but hey, that's the way the cards are dealt, and he drew his outs and I didn't draw mine, so that was my day. But overall, happy with the deck. There was 3 Sabines in the top cut. 2 of them were Sabine ECL, so it's not like I could say the deck is bad, right? It's the Sabine ECL is still good. It's just, what do you get paired against, and do you draw those cards? So
the draw is randomly super important.
Right.
That's why I like to smuggle, because but you can't have everything perfectly smuggled either. It's you can't just have everything smuggled.
Right.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, there's
crazy,
I was thinking of that.
Throw it in just
today. Actually, I was getting
or do I?
Today I was getting in some games, and I actually did think that. I was like, oh man, maybe one tech in the sideboard could do some crazy stuff.
You just resource it, forget about it, and if you don't have an end game, you just have an end game now.
Right. Yeah.
You play tech and everything's online.
I'm trying to think of what card I would say is the MVP of the day. I kind of just want to. Cass felt really good. I won a game because I like totally predicted the super laser blast turn against one of the Bosk Blue, and then I was on 6 resources and I was able to flip casts and use heroic sacrifice to hit the base for 5 and put him to 27, and then I drew into a for a cause I believe with the draw. I was like, yes, like, let's go, dude.
Drawing into the for a cause when you exactly need it.
Yeah,
dude.
I believed in the cause.
That's what it is. Like,
yeah, that's a skill issue, honestly.
It's a skill issue.
But yeah, it's like Cass was really good. Felt really. Sometimes you just throw him down as a 3/5 rebel, and he like does a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
Cass was really good throughout the day. Obviously, Poe and Wrecker are just like nuts. Like, I think Bright Hope is probably the MVP of the day. Like, I didn't play it that much, but the times that I played it, it was like cinched me the boba games that I won. Okay. Yeah. Bright Hope was like oh my gosh, I've disrespected this card. This card is so good.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's even good against boss because you can like bring back a guy who had a bounty. Then the bounty.
That's what I did. I bounced that. I like took out space units to get in Bright Hope so that I could like only go ground so that I can bounce the ground guys and get the draw too. The draw's like super relevant.
Yeah, the draw's crazy.
So yeah, that was great. Overall, again, I felt great and it just didn't draw the cards when I needed. But all the matches that I lost, I at least took one game in those matches. So it's not like I got 2-0 anytime through the day. So that felt
twice. But it was just one of them. I think he got 4th or something. It was yellow Sabine blind. Yeah, and it was just like ridiculously like perfect lines. Like, well, you just got it,
Yeah.
Super fast.
Yeah, my round 3 Boba Yellow is the guy who got second. Actually, he was the runner-up. So it felt good to be like, okay, those games are really close, and to get there.
Yeah,
so
that's a crazy way to look at it too. It's like, oh yeah, like I was close to beating someone who got to that point in the tournament.
Yeah.
That's also pretty good.
Yeah. And our other teammates, unfortunately, both went 3-4. They couldn't get positive either. So everyone but me went 3-4 for the day, and I went 4-3.
Better about myself, just saying. I thought I was gonna win like maybe 1. And way more than that. I was like, what is happening?
So my brother Max, he was playing Sabine ECL2 is the list. We'll put it up here. His was like 2 cards different from mine. He's not a cast believer. He might be after this, but who knows? We'll put his matchups up here, and then Cody, our resident Bosk player, one of the 2 Bosk brothers we got in our squad. He was playing Bosk ECL. He went 3-4 as well. We'll put his pairings up as well so you can see those and deck lists. And
they also played each other too.
They did. We had friendly fire. Unfortunately, that was I think it was literally like round 2.
Yeah, it was like, well, who won? Who do we think is gonna win? It's like,
yeah. It was that was rough.
They just played it out and but just like we kept having the same record over and over again. And we're like, we're just gonna play each other.
Yeah, we were all totally expecting to be like, round 3, we're all gonna play each other. Like it's gonna be a team garage.
We all had the same record, but that was also the time where the whole tournament had
that record,
chunks with that record.
Yeah.
So then, like, I remember some of us got like paired up in those situations too. He's like, Max got like super paired up at one point.
Oh yeah,
and he was like,
Max was like
undefeated guy. Like,
Max was like 3-1, and he played a 4-0 player on round or maybe it was like 2-2. It was like crazy, like an insane pair down for that guy. So that was odd, but yeah. If I was gonna make a hot take on what what I would do differently. I feel like I'd probably just play the same deck. Like,
yeah,
I'd just still play Sabine ECL and like pray that I don't pair against Boba. That's what I'd do. Like,
I feel like there's a couple.
There's two
on the side. I mean, I could have main decked some of my side.
Yeah,
you know. Yes.
Yeah, if I was gonna like change something about the deck specifically, the Bright Hopes would probably come into the main deck, and then Adelphi in the side deck. That's probably it. But that was most likely our last set.
Bro.
Yeah, Max said he popped off with the Adelphi today.
Like won me like 2 games.
Yeah, I did hit someone for 9 damage with a Wrecker off an Adelphi, so that was like 1/3 of your base gone. All right, so let's talk a little bit about results. So we have all the results from the past 2 weekends for the PQs, but out of, what is there, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 out of 11 PQs, there's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 Bobas taking the victory. They're not all like not all green, but most of them were. But yeah, I mean, is there a Boba problem? Do we gotta talk about this? Like, FFG, we gotta look at this a little bit. So yeah, no, Boba just,
you're wrong. We need to make Boba better.
He's weak, actually.
He's actually really bad. Like, it's like they're doing that in spite of how bad he is. You know.
Yeah, like, you know. These players are just insane at the game. They definitely aren't. They're definitely not just playing a broken deck.
I mean, like, yeah. So because I'm thinking of like the quality of the combos with Boba, and then like comparing it to like a Sabine combo or some other combo. I'm like, it's just so much like a whole nother level.
Yeah, it is.
Like, it's like, oh, I do this, I get extra damage, I do 3 things on your side of the field, I also get resources. Like, only 1 action. It's like, what?
Yeah. So we're in the Boba season. Yeah, I mean, out of 2 weekends, 11 PQs, Boba takes 7 of them, which is like more than 50%. That's like 70%. Like crazy. And then the remaining 4 were just straight up outliers. 1 Han Yellow, 1 Sabine ECL, 1 Ray Tarkin Town, and 1 Bosk Blue. So literally, no other leader has had 2 PQ wins than Boba Fett, and he has 7. So
it's obvious to see. I'd like to see like the top 4 of all of them, and then have those in a chunk. Would be really interesting.
Well, we have that. So let's look at it again. Shout out to KTOD. They have these informational slides here. So out of the top 8, this is a top 8, not top 4, sorry.
Okay. No, that's fine. That's
out of the top 8 total tops between leaders, Boba Fett has 61, which is 43% of the lineup. So
it's not as much as the
second. No, that is the Boba Fett. That is the winner. It's like,
but
it is the most.
Yeah, it is the most. But
yeah, no, it is the most. 61 is the most number of represented leaders, which is Boba Fett, out of the top 8s. Number 2 is Sabine with 24. 61 to 24. Think about that. 17%. We go from 43% Boba to 17% Sabine. Han Solo Red is 3rd with 13 tops and 9%. And then Han Solo Yellow, so set 1 Han, is at 12 with 8%. And then after that, it's like trickle down, like random stuff, like 10 Kiras, 8 Bosks, 6 Rey, 2 Kylo, and then a bunch of 1s. Pretty crazy. Another crazy stat is bases. Green 30 HP base had more tops than ECL.
Wow.
Green 30 HP base had 37 tops, which is 26%. ECL had 33 tops, which is 23%. 23. And yellow base had third with the 24%. And then just the most funniest thing ever is Jeddah City had one top.
I was onto something, bro. I knew it. It's a good card. Just kidding.
Yeah. So, yeah. Who knows what that guy was thinking?
Again,
he was cooking,
in spite of how good the card is, you know.
Yeah, it was to show that it was too good. Like they had to. Yeah, you can't have
gentleman's out of that card, and this guy is like the only one who didn't get the memo.
Yeah, it's too good. We all agreed as a player base to not play that card. Yeah, so that was the breakdown from the past 2 weekends here. I think there are more this weekend. I think we have 2 more weekends of PQ. I think it's like all of October. So
yeah, so like it's like a new game, and so like I was trying to figure out, like we were talking about, like what would this compare to? Like how like yes, we have all these numbers, and it feels like there's a lot of boba out there, boba everywhere. Yeah, so like I was looking at the big 3. So I was looking at Magic, the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Pokemon. Like they all have kind of different flavors of how the game is. Like Magic is super developed and kind of more balanced just because there's a lot more options. Yu-Gi-Oh is the most imbalanced, toxic area thing you can actually be in, and then Pokemon is like the pay to win, for what I understand. And so like they had like a lot of different things. So, like Magic had like a ton of 10%, for example, like to compare it to Star Wars, and then Yu-Gi-Oh was like 50% one thing, and then like split between 4 others, which is super imbalanced.
Yeah.
And Pokemon had like a split even 5.
Yeah, but you want to know one thing that all 3 of those card games have that we don't? A ban list.
It is early in the game though, too, so it's like
it is. Yeah, I mean, I get
when do ban lists even start to begin is like our new question. It's like,
yeah,
what are we going to gentlemen's out of? Are there just going to be errated cards? And like, how will they do that? And it's like,
yeah,
just messy.
Yeah, I don't want.
Like
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and be like Boba's like unbeatable, right? But it's just like his like worse hands are far better than other decks' worse hands. Like insane. Like it's just crazy, the
like,
levels, and like
weird when it's like, oh yeah, like set 2 came out, but like a lot of things didn't change.
Right.
It's like, yeah, Boba and Savine are still supreme. You know?
Yeah.
Like they just got better.
Yeah, I was going into that tournament making a meta call going, okay, Boba destroyed last weekend. Everyone's going to be on control to counter Boba, but no one wanted to play control.
Boba.
Yeah, everyone just, more people jumped on Boba. Yeah, it was like crazy.
All right, we got to triple down on it.
Yeah, it was
I think also just like there are just more Boba players in our area.
Yeah, it's also like a least expensive deck than Blue Villain Control, so it's a super expensive deck. But
yeah, well, it's because now we have double the amount of legendaries available to play, and that like prices me out technically of like a lot of decks I could potentially play. So like, because being a budget player, I'm like, I can't even approach Boba. I can't even think about playing the color blue.
Yeah.
Like it is just so like out of reach, and hats off to you guys who want to play Control-y and have like a bazillion legendaries that like say you can't not play the game, and I win the game.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, like that's cool. It's like another way to play it, and that's.
Hey, if everyone's playing boba, I'm more than happy to play that. Like, I'll have a great time playing that.
Yeah, like
make boba players cry. I'm gonna put it on a T-shirt.
But yeah, like I just think it's just imbalanced right now, and I think with the next set 3. Like, I think there's like a lot of new things that are gonna actually start changing up what's meta. Like,
yeah,
like
we'll have to
completely rethink of how the game is even played, because like just token spam and stuff.
Yeah,
just like the idea of it is just gonna change how the game is just overall.
Unfortunately, like I think the most broken card from set 3, which is gonna change it, is a yellow card, which Boba can use.
No.
So, we'll just have to see. We'll see if something can change the tides. And I didn't necessarily feel like any of my Boba games were like, oh my gosh, he's so broken. It was just like certain cards, honestly.
Maybe for me is a little different.
Yeah, well, you didn't get like the only out to Boba, which is like Wrecker and Pose.
Like oh my gosh, like so I played 2 Bobas. I beat one, and there's a clear difference between that one and the other one I played. A clear difference. Wow.
Yeah.
Like, I did not have a chance. Like, he got the Greedo. He, like, played Greedo, and he, like, got rid of 2 things with it, with his ability. Oh my gosh, dude. And then he, like, went right into the Toro cunning play, and it was like,
yeah,
no way. There's no way. And then he even like re-readied him. I think he re-readied him with the Greedo. Is that how that
he probably re-readied him with the buff too, so it was like 14 damage.
Yeah, it was like it was the perfect line from the very beginning to not even the Boba flip. I died before the Boba even flipped. It was like, this is great. Let's get round 2.
Yeah.
And I took a game off him somehow. I don't know. I just did. And then like like he never got a turn like that again.
Yeah.
This is like just seeing that being a possibility is like, my deck can never produce anything like that.
Yeah, well, he's not unbeatable. That's the point. You know, you can do it. So
cost still matters. It's like you could even like discard a card and then like maybe that'll affect things. I have no idea. It's like and it's like you can have the same cards, but like how they get played and when they get played, and if you attack first and stuff like that, or if you like play a thing first, it's like so many little things that like you just have to iron out like by playing the game a lot. And so it's like you can like you can play the best deck from the tournament before, and like you just won't perform because you just don't have those reps. Like we played your worst matchup and you 2-0'd it.
Yeah,
like because you knew what to do, and
it's just playing what you're comfortable with and
do it. It's like. Like that's another part too. You have to like get the material to actually do the thing that you can do.
Right.
Like I got like I had 2 like 1-ofs that were like first like side deck kind of things, and like they did come up, and like I did draw them. It was like, oh, I could do this other thing, It was, like, it was fun.
Oh, that actually reminds me. The card that I actually do think was the MVP for me was Dodonna. I had the 1 copy of Dodonna in the side deck, and he went like crazy whenever I played Dodonna. Like, at what point against the Iden Green, I had Dodonna on the field and red 3, which is like an extra 2 damage for each of my rebels, which was like nuts.
Just like so oppressive. Like to get like a +2, it's like 2 resources, and that's for 1 unit. So like getting that wide. Just like crazy value.
Yeah, it felt great. It felt great for value. Yeah. Well, think that about does it. And total recap of the first one. Again, it was just like a great weekend, super fun. You know, there's not anything that I would say is like, oh, this was awful about the day or this was that. It was like super fun camaraderie the whole day, hanging out with the guys, everyone playing cards and seeing everyone from the community. And yeah, it was super great. So let us know in the comments if you guys were there, if you have any, questions or you have any comments about, I know we saw a couple people that commented that said they're going to be there. So that was cool to see too.
Yeah, it was really cool to talk to everybody.
So if you guys have any, stories or comments or just something to bring up about it, then you have opinions, feel free to let us know and discuss it. Otherwise, after this, set 3's on the horizon. This is the beginning. Here we go with the set 3 stuff. I'm excited for it. I'm happy to have this be the final chapter of set 2 of okay. This felt like, it was it. Big tournament.
Huge tournament.
Yeah, the end of the
things happening. A lot of people kind of came back into the game because there's a lot of people it's starting to fizzle out, and now then everybody was super into the game for that one day. And it was really fun to see that again. But I feel like set 3 is just gonna be just a really fun experience. I feel I just hope that they don't pattern the boxes again, so it's
hopefully that doesn't happen.
I think it will though, but I hope not.
Hopefully not.
At least for the pre-release. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't even think that would ruin it for me, just because it seems like so much more fun to open and already. So
I think the pre-release and the draft scene for set 3 just looks fun.
Way better. Way more fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, subscribe for the vibes. Let us know. Have any questions? We'll be on the lookout for some set 3 content starting here. That's all I got.
All right.
Peace.
23, it's in plain sight, it's a mirage, it's not a facade. Feel the power of an overwhelming barrage of joy and enjoy the ferocity of Team Garage. It's in plain